Your soulmate is on their way to see you right now. But it's a big secret. My beloved child. Someone is already moving toward you at this very moment, carrying a truth that has remained hidden for far longer than either of you realizes. They have rehearsed this meeting in silence more times than you could ever imagine, yet no one around them knows where they are truly going. That secret is not meant to stay buried much longer. Strange coincidences you've dismissed lately were never random. The unexpected pause before sending a message. The feeling that someone was thinking about you at exactly the same time you thought of them. Even the moments when your heart suddenly raced without explanation were quiet echoes of a journey already beginning. But there is one reason this reunion has been kept hidden from almost everyone, and once you discover it, the entire story changes. Don't skip. The next piece is something very few people ever see before it unfolds. Your soulmate has been carrying a decision that frightened them more than they were willing to admit. For a long time, they believed staying away would protect both of you from disappointment, from misunderstanding, from the weight of timing that never seemed to be on your side. Yet something shifted recently. It was not one dramatic event, but a series of quiet moments that refused to leave them alone. A familiar place suddenly reminded them of you. A conversation with someone unexpected planted a question they couldn't escape. Then came one unforgettable sign that convinced them they could no longer ignore what their heart had been whispering all along. Since that moment, every excuse they've relied on has slowly fallen apart. Still, they haven't told anyone the real destination they're heading toward. Why would they hide something so important from the people closest to them? Because someone already tried to convince them not to come. And that warning has made this journey even more dangerous to abandon. Right now, while you're listening, your soulmate is wrestling with emotions they can barely control. Part of them is filled with hope, imagining the moment your eyes finally meet. Another part fears that too much time has passed, that your life has changed, or that they may arrive one step too late. They keep wondering whether you'll recognize the silent battles they've fought just to reach this point. But what they don't know is that the greatest obstacle has not appeared yet. Before they can stand in front of you, they will be forced to make one final choice, a choice that could either bring them directly into your life or send them back into silence once again. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the truth behind that final decision is far more shocking than the journey itself. A single moment is about to test every promise they've made to themselves. Just when the path ahead seems clear, someone from their past suddenly steps into the picture with unexpected questions. That person notices something different in your soulmate's eyes, a quiet determination that wasn't there before. They ask where they're going, but your soulmate hesitates. They smile, change the subject, and protect the truth one more time. Not because they're ashamed of coming to you, but because they've learned that some dreams become fragile the moment too many people know about them. Deep inside, they fear that speaking your name too soon could somehow unravel everything they've worked so hard to rebuild. Yet every mile they travel only strengthens one realization: they're no longer running away from their heart. They're finally running toward it. Meanwhile, you remain completely unaware that small pieces are already falling into place around you. A delay that once frustrated you suddenly becomes a blessing in disguise. An unexpected change in your schedule quietly creates the exact window this reunion may need. Even the people crossing your path seem to be unknowingly guiding the story forward. Have you noticed how certain moments lately have felt strangely significant, as if they were preparing you for something you couldn't explain? Those feelings were never meaningless. They were subtle reminders that two separate journeys have been moving toward the same destination all along. But your soulmate still carries one object they haven't decided whether to reveal when they finally see you. It's something connected to the very first time your paths unknowingly crossed, and its meaning is far greater than you could ever guess. The closer they come, the heavier their heartbeat becomes. They imagine dozens of possibilities. What if you smile? What if you're surprised? What if you walk away before they can explain why it took so long? Every possibility plays through their mind, yet one memory keeps returning stronger than the rest, a promise they silently made long ago, a promise they never truly broke despite everything that happened in between. That promise is the reason they're still moving forward, even as uncertainty follows every step. But just ahead lies an unexpected encounter that could reveal the secret they've protected from everyone until now. And once that hidden truth begins to surface, you'll understand why this journey could never be ordinary, because someone else has known about your connection long before either of you did. The next few moments change the rhythm of everything. Your soulmate unexpectedly crosses paths with someone who quietly studies them before saying a single sentence that sends a chill through their heart. You're finally going, aren't you? There is no anger in that voice. Only quiet understanding. For a second, your soulmate wonders how this person could possibly know. They never shared their plans. They never revealed your name. Yet somehow, the secret seems less hidden than they believed. Instead of stopping them, that person reaches into a pocket and hands them something they had forgotten years ago. The instant they hold it again, memories they buried deep inside begin rushing back. Memories that explain why your story has always felt unfinished, but they still don't reveal the most important truth. As the journey continues, your soulmate becomes unusually quiet. They replay every choice that led them here, wondering whether every delay, every goodbye, and every painful misunderstanding was secretly preparing both of you for this exact moment. Then another realization strikes them. If they had met you earlier, they might never have become the person capable of loving you the way you truly deserved. That thought changes everything. Suddenly, the waiting no longer feels like wasted time. It feels like preparation. But with every mile they move closer, another question grows louder inside them. What if you've stopped waiting? What if someone else has already filled the place they once dreamed of having in your life? Don't skip. The answer they're imagining is very different from the reality that's waiting ahead. Just when hope begins to outweigh fear, an unexpected message appears and freezes them in place. They stare at the screen without breathing, reading the same words over and over as doubt quietly returns. For a brief moment, they consider turning around. Every fear they thought they had conquered comes rushing back at once. Yet before they make that decision, something catches their attention outside the window, a small, ordinary detail that feels impossible to ignore. It reminds them of a promise they almost abandoned and gives them the courage to take one more step forward instead of walking away. They have no idea that this single decision has already set something much bigger into motion, because while they believe they're searching for the perfect moment to meet you, someone much closer to your world has just discovered their secret, and what that person chooses to do next could change everything. Not every secret stays hidden forever. The person who uncovered your soulmate's plan doesn't react the way anyone would expect. There is no confrontation. No desperate attempt to stop them. Instead, they quietly watch from a distance, almost as if they're waiting to see whether your soulmate has the courage to finish what they started. That silence becomes more unsettling than any argument could have been. Your soulmate senses that someone now knows the truth, but they can't tell who. Every passing minute feels heavier, yet turning back is no longer an option. They've already crossed the point where fear holds more power than hope. And somewhere deep inside, they realize this journey isn't just about finding you anymore, it's about finally becoming honest with themselves after carrying so many unspoken feelings. At the very same time, your own story begins shifting in ways you can't yet recognize. A familiar place suddenly feels different. A conversation that seemed ordinary leaves an unexpected impression. You pause for no clear reason, as though your heart has noticed something before your mind can understand it. Have you ever experienced that strange feeling that someone is getting closer even though you have no proof? That's exactly what's happening now. Invisible threads are pulling two separate lives toward the same destination. Every delay that once seemed frustrating is quietly creating the perfect sequence of events. But the most astonishing part is this: your soulmate still doesn't know that one final obstacle has been waiting for them all along, hidden in the last stretch of their journey. Then, just as confidence begins to replace uncertainty, everything changes again. A single unexpected phone call interrupts their thoughts. The voice on the other end speaks calmly, but every word carries weight. It isn't a threat. It isn't bad news. It's a question your soulmate never expected to hear, one that forces them to reconsider how they plan to face you when the moment finally arrives. They stand completely still, staring into the distance, knowing that the answer they give in the next few seconds could shape everything that follows. Stay till the end, because the choice they make during that conversation doesn't simply affect the meeting. It unlocks a hidden truth about your connection that neither of you has ever imagined, and once it's revealed, there will be no turning back. The silence after that phone call feels almost unbearable. Your soulmate doesn't answer immediately. They close their eyes, take a slow breath, and allow every emotion they've been suppressing to rise to the surface. The voice waiting on the other end isn't demanding an explanation, it simply asks, "Are you certain this is the path you want?" Such a simple question. Yet it carries the weight of every choice they've ever made. For a brief moment, doubt whispers that it would be easier to walk away and leave the past untouched. But then they remember something they have never admitted to anyone. Through every season of their life, no matter how far they traveled or how much they changed, there was always one face their heart quietly returned to whenever the world became too heavy. Yours. That realization doesn't erase their fear. But it gives them the courage to speak the answer they've been avoiding for far too long. The journey continues, but now every step feels different. The closer they come, the more vivid their imagination becomes. They picture seeing you for the first time after everything that's happened. Will your eyes light up with recognition? Will there be silence before either of you can find the right words? Or will one unexpected smile say everything neither of you has been able to express? Those questions refuse to leave their mind. Yet another mystery quietly unfolds. Hidden among the belongings they've carried throughout this journey is something they almost left behind. It isn't expensive. It isn't extraordinary. To anyone else, it would seem completely ordinary. But to your soulmate, it represents the exact moment they realized their feelings for you could never disappear. They keep reaching for it, then pulling their hand away, unsure whether revealing it will heal old wounds, or open entirely new ones. Just when it seems nothing else can stand in their way, the atmosphere shifts once again. They notice someone watching them from a distance, not with suspicion, but with quiet recognition, as though they've been expecting this journey all along. Before your soulmate can approach, that stranger speaks a sentence so unexpected that time itself seems to pause. You've taken longer than anyone thought, but you're still right on time. Those words echo through their mind as the stranger walks away without another explanation. What did they mean? How could someone they've never met know anything about this secret journey? Your soulmate doesn't realize it yet, but that mysterious encounter has just unlocked the next piece of a story far bigger than either of you imagined. And the truth waiting ahead is closer than ever, yet still hidden behind one final veil of silence. For the first time since this journey began, your soulmate stops chasing answers and starts listening to the quiet voice they've ignored for years. The stranger's words refuse to leave their mind. You're still right on time. They replay them over and over, searching for a hidden meaning. Then they notice something they hadn't seen before. Every delay that once felt like a cruel setback had actually kept them from arriving too early, or far too late. Every closed door had quietly redirected them toward this exact moment. The realization is overwhelming. They were never simply traveling to meet you. They were being prepared for the version of you they were always meant to find. But one question still lingers like a shadow. If the timing has finally become perfect, who has been protecting this secret until now? Meanwhile, your own life continues as though nothing unusual is happening, yet subtle signs keep appearing around you. A familiar melody suddenly brings back a feeling you can't explain. You catch yourself looking toward a place for no reason at all. A passing stranger smiles as if they recognize something you cannot see. These moments seem ordinary on their own, but together they form a pattern that's becoming impossible to ignore. Somewhere, without realizing it, you're beginning to sense the same invisible pull your soulmate has been following. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because at this very moment, the distance between you is smaller than it's been in a very long time, and neither of you understands how close destiny has quietly drawn the two of you together. Then the journey takes another unexpected turn. Your soulmate reaches for the small keepsake they've guarded throughout the entire trip, finally deciding it's time to look at it one last time before seeing you. As they unfold it, something slips out that has remained hidden for years, a tiny handwritten note they never remembered placing there. Their hands begin to tremble as they read the first line. It isn't written in their handwriting. It isn't signed. Yet every word seems to know the deepest fears they've carried in silence. The final sentence changes everything. When you finally stand before them, tell them what you were never brave enough to say the last time. Your soulmate freezes, realizing there may have been another chapter to this story that neither of you has ever remembered, and that forgotten chapter is about to reveal why this meeting was destined to remain a secret until now. A forgotten memory is beginning to surface, and your soulmate can no longer pretend it doesn't exist. They read that mysterious note again, slower this time, hoping the words will somehow change. They don't. Instead, each sentence feels even more personal, as though it was written for this exact day. They search every corner of their memory, trying to remember who could have left it there, but the answer remains just beyond reach. Then another realization quietly settles in. Perhaps the true secret was never about the journey itself. Perhaps it was about the courage required to finish it. Every mile has stripped away another layer of fear until only one truth remains: they are no longer traveling because they hope to meet you. They are traveling because they cannot imagine another day without finally telling you what has lived inside their heart for so long. But before that moment arrives, one final piece of the past is about to reveal itself. At the same time, something inside you begins to shift in ways that are impossible to explain. You feel unusually reflective, almost as though an unseen chapter of your life is preparing to reopen. Small memories you haven't thought about in years suddenly return with remarkable clarity. A familiar laugh. A certain place. A fleeting feeling that once seemed insignificant. None of it appears connected, yet together they create an overwhelming sense that someone is getting closer with every passing moment. Have you ever felt as though your heart recognized something before your mind could understand it? That quiet certainty isn't accidental. It is the same invisible thread pulling your soulmate forward, step after step. They don't know it yet, but while they've been wondering how to face you, you've already begun sensing their arrival in ways neither of you can explain. Then, just as the destination finally comes within reach, everything slows. Your soulmate catches sight of the place where they believe your paths are meant to cross. They stop walking. Not because they want to turn back, but because the reality of the moment suddenly feels far greater than the dream. Their heartbeat grows louder than the world around them. Every hope, every fear, every unanswered question has led to this single breath. They take one careful step forward, and notice something that makes them freeze completely. Waiting near the place where they expected to see only you is someone they never imagined would be there. That unexpected figure already knows exactly who your soulmate is, and the first words they speak will determine whether this long-hidden secret finally reaches you, or remains buried forever. The stranger doesn't move. They simply hold your soulmate's gaze, as if they've been waiting for this exact second for longer than anyone could measure. You've come farther than you realize, they say quietly. Those words carry no judgment, only certainty. Your soulmate searches their face for recognition but finds only calm confidence. Then the stranger asks a question that catches them completely off guard. When you finally stand before them, will you tell them the whole truth, or only the parts that are easy to say? The air suddenly feels heavier. Every carefully rehearsed conversation disappears. They realize that seeing you was never going to be the hardest part. The hardest part will be deciding whether to reveal everything they've hidden inside their heart. And one unspoken truth still threatens to remain locked away forever. At that very moment, you unknowingly take a step that brings your paths closer than ever before. You have no idea that the distance between you is now measured in moments rather than miles. Yet something within you grows impossible to ignore. A quiet anticipation settles over your heart, as though life itself is whispering that an unexpected encounter is approaching. You pause without understanding why. You glance behind you for no reason at all. Nothing seems different, yet everything feels different. Could it be that your heart has sensed a presence long before your eyes can confirm it? Don't skip. What happens next isn't the reunion either of you imagined. It's something far more emotional, because the first words spoken between you may not be the words either of you expected to hear. Your soul.